Okay, so in this video I just quickly wanted to show you how you can actually get started with using the RangedCombatLab once you've downloaded the zip file. If you don't know how to get access to this file, just watch the video called How to Get Access to All GameDevLabs. But assuming you've already downloaded it, you can now just unpack it as you would any other zip file. And just make sure that you store it somewhere close to your C drive, because sometimes it will give an error that the file path is too long. Okay, then once this has been unpacked, you can open the folder and then you go one layer back where it says assets and where all of this Unity stuff is in here. And then I would rename this folder to something like Unity project. That's what I usually do. And then let's drag it in here. And now you can go over to the Unity hub and you can just click on open and select the Unity project that you've just unpacked. So let's go tutorial, Unity project, and then hit open. And then it's not going to ask me to switch versions. It's just going to start because I have exactly the version installed that I exported it with. If you don't have this version installed, however, it's going to ask you with which version you want to open the project. Just select whatever version you're using and click continue. It's then going to convert the entire project to your Unity version, and usually this works just fine. If for some reason it doesn't work, make sure to install this version or at least a version that is 2021 or higher. Okay, so then once the project has opened, it's going to look something like this. The first thing you want to do is go to the scenes folder and double click the RC lab scene, and here you'll actually see the main scene that I also used in the trailer. So then what you want to do is you want to check the console, and this is perfect. It just has one error, and that error is some import problem with indoor plant house. Doesn't matter. Just hit clear and it's gone. It's not going to appear again. In case you have more errors or it's not working, first of all, you want to install the correct version. As I said, maybe that's going to fix it. And if not, then usually the errors come from some packages that are not correctly imported. So you want to go to Windows, Package Manager, and then let's say you have an error that has something to do with Cinemachine. You just want to go to Cinemachine and remove the asset and then re-import it. Or for example, the same with post-processing, animation rigging, and all of those packages. If you still have problems even after re-importing the packages and switching the version, then of course feel free to go to the RangedCombatLab channel or write me personally on Patreon or over Discord, and I'll gladly help you with setting up the problem. And I'll gladly help you with setting up your project so that everything works. Now let me give you a quick overview over the project here. So the plugins folder, you can basically ignore that. The scenes folder we already looked at. Then graphics, here you'll find all the graphics I used. You don't really need to open this folder or use it. For you, the most important folders are scripts, sounds, prefabs, and RC Lab Premade. So in the scripts folder, as you would expect, you can find all of the scripts. But basically, if you want to look into the source code, some scripts even have icons, then you can feel free to do so. And if you have questions about why I coded something the way I did, you can also ask me over Discord, or I will upload more and more tutorials to this channel here, where I basically explain how I coded it and how you can code it as well. Okay, then in the sound folder, you just find a couple sound effects that I already imported into the project. In the prefabs folder, you can pretty much ignore this, I think. Okay, then in the RC Lab Premade folder, let me quickly clear this up again. In the RC Lab Premade folder, you'll find all of the presets I made for abilities. Then there are actions that I made, and especially lots of weapons and projectiles. So the projectiles are basically graphics that are already connected to a projectile script. As you can see here on the right, projectile explosive, projectile spawner, and this would be a cluster grenade. So you can just use them in all of your weapons. And I will show how to set up weapons in a different tutorial. I think it's already uploaded once you see this, it should be called create your first ranged weapon or something like that. Then in the custom folder, I just made a couple folders for you so you can create your own weapons, effects, actions, abilities, and so on. In the projectile folder, it's important that you create all projectiles inside of a resources folder. And yeah, you can create your own stuff wherever you want, but I thought it would be a cool idea to have it all here structured in one place. Then very important as well, here you find the documentation. You can just look through this. Basically, I just explained the variables of the weapon script and the variables of the projectile script and how to set a new projectile up. But I'm also going to make tutorials on this, so whatever you prefer. Then basically, you can just hit play and try it out a bit. So if you press the number 2 now, you get to the first weapon and you can use it. And yeah, it's just a rifle and the pistol is working. And you can see the post-processing effects give this glitch effect when you first use them in editor mode. But this will disappear after using them once. Then this is like the mecha that I implemented. The octa mecha with explosive. You can also shoot at these cubes. Okay, so that's it for the weapons that you can use with the hotbar. But if you press tab, you get actually access to all of the other weapons I created. So for example, let's say I want to use the sniper rifle. You can press tab again to make it disappear. And then you are using the sniper. Currently there's no sniper overlay over the entire screen, but I will probably add that in the future. Okay, so I don't want to make this video too long, but basically if you go to the player, you have the player setup here. Inside of the combat, you can actually go to the inventory and change the weapon hotbar slots. So for example, you could change the rifle ability on slot 2 to something like whatever ability you want, right? And just make sure to leave ability 0 for this modular ability. This is needed for the weapon switcher. And yeah, this is pretty much all you need to know in order to get started with the RangedCombatLab. And I will upload more and more tutorials on how to actually create weapons and projectiles, so you can watch them as well or just read the documentation. I hope this video helped you and see you in the next one.